Hurry up, I'm a busy engine, puffed Henry. Goods arrive night and day at the dock. Sometimes Henry and the other engines worked so hard that their axles ached. Sir Topham Hatt brought in a new engine to help with the heavy workload. He was long and had 10 drive wheels. He looked very strong. Ahoy, matey! You're a chatty lot, Murdoch said quietly. Soon Murdoch was coupled to a long line of heavy freight cars. His boilers strained, his wheels started to turn, and the mighty engine chuffed away. Murdoch longed for some peace and quiet, but everywhere he went, it was noisy and crowded. At the end of the day, Murdoch was looking forward to a good night's rest. Please, I want some peace and quiet, and I don't want to share a shed with chatterboxes. The next morning, Murdoch collected another long, heavy train. This time, he chuffed into the beautiful country. At last, he had some peace and quiet. Suddenly, his driver applied the brake. There were sheep on the tracks. Through that broken fence. The driver and the fireman tried to chase the sheep back. They tried everything, but nothing worked. We'll never remove these sheep by ourselves, complained the fireman. I'll go and phone for help. Murdoch was very unhappy. Sir Topham Hatt was enjoying afternoon tea when he got the call. The sheep were becoming noisier and noisier. Please stop, groaned Murdoch. I'd rather be back with the chatterbox engine. Toby, we're certainly glad to see you. Before long, the farmer and his dog went to work, and Murdoch was on his way again. Thanks, Toby. That evening, Murdoch parked between Harvey and Salt, but Murdoch spoke first. I'm sorry that I was cross. I'm very pleased to share a shed with you. Murdoch smiled. The sound of ba-ba would have kept him awake, but a salty story would send him happily to sleep.
Bill and Ben work in the clay mines and quarries near Brendam Docks. Their work is important, but it can be hot and dirty. Sometimes this makes the twins naughty. Their friend Boko was worried. Bill and Ben, behave yourselves. It's clear to me that we need another diesel to help out. If I were you, I'd get back to work right away. He's bound to have teething troubles. And he was right. Oh, my grease and oil. I wasn't expecting this hill. Oh, what's that? Boko came to the rescue. Sorry, said the diesel. I'm all hot and bothered. I've got teething troubles, you know. The news soon spread. Hey, you two. Why does Percy want to wish us good luck? Asked Bill. Then their manager spoke to them. It was dark when the twins reached the docks. That means he's new, and this causes some problems. In his case, it's his cooling system. And it was. Hello, I'll soon sort this train out. You take the front, and I'll push from behind. What fun! Then they came to a hill. Come on! Come on! The diesel couldn't push any harder. I'm overheating again. Oh, Pa! You know what? Sighed the driver. Let's try and finish the journey anyway. It means we'll have to pull the diesel as well. Can you do it, twins? And sure enough, they could. That night, Sir Topham Hatt came to see them. Well done, Bill and Ben. And you know what friends do? They always say goodnight to each other all night long.
There are always lots of jobs to do. One morning, the Fat Controller came to Tidmouth Sheds. A happy engine. The signalman called down to Thomas. You are to collect a piece of ironwork so the bridge can be repaired. At the yards, Harry and Bert were with Neville, the new engine. Neville was a steamy. Neville was backing up towards some trucks. Nearly there. Then there was trouble. Watch where you're going, clumsy wheels. Neville looked sad, and they laughed even harder. Thomas arrived at the yards. He could see Harry and Bert laughing with Neville. That must be the new engine, he thought. He must be friends with the diesel. Yes, said Thomas, but we'd better be careful. They were laughing together as Thomas left. Later, Edward was taking on water. He doesn't want to be with steamies at all. When Thomas arrived at Abbey Station, the Fat Controller was there. Thomas felt proud. It was a very useful job. He heard a whistle. Someone was coming. It was Neville, pulling Annie and Clara back. Hello, puffed Neville cheerfully. Neville didn't know what he had done. Hello, said Neville happily. Emily let out a whoosh of steam. I know you're going to biff into all the steamies. And Neville puffed sadly away. Don't you know, Emily was... But I only said to James that I'd seen Neville with Harry and Bert. Neville wasn't friends with the Diesels after all. Cinders and ashes. I must stop him. Neville was speeding through the countryside as fast as he could. Suddenly, Neville saw a barrier on the track. He slammed on his brake, but it was too late. Terrible trouble. He was on the broken end of the bridge. Thomas steamed slowly and... Thomas was very scared. Slowly and steadily he began to... Thomas knew he must hurry. Thomas had done it. Thank you. I should have warned you. Neville was very happy. At last he knew he had a good friend in...
My firebox is faulty. I won't be able to go to the children's party.
Samson, I think you might be making a mistake. Okay, if you say so, but... Oh, dear. Samson took them.
Molly's special. It was a blustery day on the island of So. Thomas was excited, waiting as he pulled into the yard. Molly was bright yellow. She had great big wheels and a shiny funnel. She looked very smart. Hello. Molly looked sad. Emily laughed at me because I have to take empty freight cars to the coaling plant, Molly puffed. I want to take full freight cars like a really useful engine. How can I help Molly feel important, he thought to. This gave Thomas an idea. I know what we can do, puffed Thomas. Molly reversed the empty freight cars into a side. Thomas asked Molly's driver to cover her freight cars with the tar. With your cars covered up, no one will know they are empty. We can make everyone think you're carrying a special delivery. Then I will feel important, Molly chuffed cheerfully. Later, when Thomas saw Emily at the station, not telling, Thomas puffed, but it's the most special of all. And every time Thomas saw another engine, he told them all about Molly's special. Soon all the engines were talking about Molly's special. They were excited, except Gordon. Molly's special is much more important than the Express, and you'll see it tonight at Abbey Station. How can I make Molly's freight cars look even more special than Gordon's Express, he wondered. Later that evening, this gave him another idea. Can I borrow your lanterns? Thomas puffed to the station master. Soon, Thomas's trucks were filled with the lanterns, puffed away to find Molly. Soon, Molly's freight cars were decorated with a beautiful lantern. She was taking the cars to the coaling plant for a very important job. Lots of engines will be there to see you. The lanterns on Molly's freight cars twinkled like stars in the night. Thomas and Molly arrived at Abbey Station. Emily, Percy, and Gordon were waiting. Ooh, magnificent, exclaimed Emily. And for the first time since she'd been on Soda, Molly felt special. Not for long. Strong gust of wind blew one of the tarps into the air. Oh no! Now everyone could see there was nothing inside. Wasn't the special? Percy puffed sadly. Molly felt silly and not very important at all. Just then, Sir Topham Hatt called the station master. They're waiting for Molly's freight cars. Oh no, moaned Thomas. I've got to find Molly quickly. Molly had stopped in a siding. I'm sorry I made you look silly, puffed Thomas, but they are waiting for your empty freight cars at the coaling plant. But I've nearly run out of coal, moaned Molly. Don't worry, I can help you get there. So Thomas pushed and Molly pulled. Thomas and Molly worked together. They arrived at the coaling plant in no time at all. There were lots of engines waiting. They all needed the empty freight cars to start their nighttime delivery. Molly felt so proud, it made her axles tingle. I'll get them, Molly chuffed cheerfully. And I'll help! Molly filled up with more coal. Then Molly and Thomas raced back to the yard. They collected some more empty freight cars. And they puffed quickly away. His signal had turned to red. Out of the way, empty freight cars coming through. You see, laughed Thomas, and Molly felt more special than special.
That's a good game. Here I come, Thomas. Split, splash, what fun! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Fizzling fireboxes. I have to take this flour to the bakery to make the cakes for Alicia Body's tea. Now, Thomas has ruined it. Oh, dear, Thomas. Of course I will. Don't worry. With my dry coal, Thomas, your boiler will soon be bubbling. Of course I will. I'll go right away. Your silly game means we'll be late for the concert. Thank you, Thomas. I found another puddle. It's perfect for our game. We can play again.
A new diesel engine has arrived on the island, he boomed. His name is Dennis. You must all help him get to know the Sodor Railway. And Thomas, you have been working very hard. Today, you can have a day off. On his way to the washdown, these trucks are too troublesome. I can't shunt them. This made Dennis very happy. All done. Thank you, Thomas, oiled Dennis. And he watched Thomas chuff away. Shiny and bright, shiny and bright. That's what I'll be to start my day right. Dennis wasn't cheerful. Dennis was lazy. He didn't want to deliver his trucks of tiles. Dennis had an idea. He would ask Thomas to help him again. help, help, Dennis called weakly. Thomas slowed down. I don't know how to get to the schoolhouse. Don't worry, Dennis. Dennis smiled. His trick had worked, so Thomas showed Dennis the way to the junction. Dennis watched Thomas puff away. Dennis had wanted Thomas to take his trucks for him. Suddenly, Dennis had another idea. He blasted his horn again. Thomas heard the noise. He was worried. Dennis watched Thomas come back. Help! I'm overheating. You'll have to shunt these trucks for me. Don't worry. He wanted Thomas to shunt his truck. Dennis decided to leave his truck. Then another engine will have to take them, he thought. So Dennis raced away. He didn't care about the tiles. He didn't care about Thomas. His wheels were spinning faster and faster. Help! 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 Thomas arrived at a signal. I do. He's broken down. Thomas quickly found Dennis. I thought you broke down at the junction. And where are the trucks of tiles? Dennis looked very shamefaced. I tricked you. There was nothing wrong with me at the junction. I just didn't want to pull those heavy trucks. I'm a really lazy engine. And as diesel oil drip, I'll pull you back onto the tracks. That way we'll get the tiles to the schoolhouse in double quick time. Dennis smiled his biggest smile ever. Dennis and Thomas finally pulled into the schoolhouse station. The fat controller was waiting. Thomas has shown me that being a really useful engine is much better than being really lazy. Thank you, Thomas. From now on, I will try to be a really useful engine.
Let's go. That's a special job, me hearties. I'm Billy, and here he is. We have to wait for Sir Topham Hatt. Why? Billy didn't want to wait for Sir Topham Hatt. He wanted to go. Sir Topham Hatt arrived. Yes, sir, bubbled Billy Happ. Right away, sir. You must pull the chicken slowly and smooth. I know that, sighed Billy. Pump those pistons impatient. Don't pump your pistons before you're ready to leave. It wastes coal and water. Billy puffed and huffed. Thomas, huffed Billy, stop telling me what to do. You are very bossy, and Billy raced off. He had promised Sir Topham Hatt he would look after. Billy wasn't pleased to see Thomas. Don't tell me what to do, Thomas, huffed. You are very bossy, and Billy steamed off. Silly Billy, you've forgotten the chicken. Thomas was pleased to find Billy at the quarry, but Billy wasn't pleased to see him. Didn't pick up the chickens, puffed Thomas. Stop telling me what to do, Thomas, huffed Billy. You are a very bossy, and Thomas was worried. Thomas was pleased to find Billy at the deep. They need diesel oil at the quarry, not the deep, and you still haven't taken on coal and water. Stop telling me what to do, Thomas. You are a very, very bossy engine. Thomas was pleased to find Billy at the coaling. He was backing his wagons under the hop. Right under the hop. Oh, no. You must be careful when you roll under the hop, and you must take on coal and water now. Thomas, huffed Billy, stop telling me what to do. You are a very bossy engine. Do whatever you want, Billy. This made Billy very happy. He had run out of coal and water. I haven't taught Billy to be really useful at all. Then Billy's firebox was filled with coal. I know you think I'm a bossy boiler, but I've done all these jobs before. Then no one will call you a silly Billy. Together, Billy and Thomas collected Farmer McCall, took them to the dock. Then they delivered the diesel oil to Mavis and Diesel at the quarry. And lastly, they delivered coal to the deep. Goodbye, Billy. Sir Topham Hatt will... Thomas, you're not a bossy boiler. You're a really useful engine, and I really enjoyed working with... Billy wasn't a silly Billy anymore.